welcome to the learningZity. In this video, I will be implementing another React project which is I developed for the movie search, and at the end of this video, you will learn about how to make an API call, display data to the browser, and search the movie, and also how you can use modal with React to display the movie information. First of all, the basic thing is to set up the project environment. In terminal, I type create React app and application name. After, I'm going to install the Bootstrap here because I want to be my application more responsive. Therefore, I'm using React Bootstrap. Let me remove all unnecessary stuff which I'm not using here. Yes, environment is ready to go. Check, am I rendering it to the browser correctly? There's an error in my app.js file. Let me check what is that. Yes, now it needs to work. Now I will show you the website that I am going to use to take my API key. All you have to do is here, create an account and generate your own API key. This is the page. You can get the overall idea about how the different type of method can use along with your API key. I will show you an example. Here is the base URL which you can use for every method, whether it is trending, view or whatever. This is the common one, and after you can replace with your method here. In this case it is a search, and after you can replace your API key here and add language, page, other contain true or false. That's up to you to filter your API URL. So now I'm going to copy all the relevant URL into my README file. Now let's start the implementation. First, I'm going to declare a state variable for get the movies and set the movies. By default, initial stage want to be empty in this state. Then now I am adding map function inside the div tag to populate the movies. Here I am mapping movies attribute into MovieBox component, which is located in a separate React file. First, then we create that MovieBox React file here. Now I'm importing MovieBox component to my app.js file because otherwise React don't know where this MovieBox component is coming from. Before fetching the data, I will explain how MovieBox.js file and app.js file connectivities work. Here I am creating another variable called example, which has two data in the array. And I'm going to replace movie attribute with example. Let's refresh the browser and see the result. What you can see. Here you can see, depending on my array data, the result length is changed. Even though my MovieBox component has a single movie information, it will show two movie info heading. That is because my example variable contains two data. The same concept is applied for this use state array. Now I am adding a use effect hook to fetch my API. Mainly, use effect has two arguments. The first argument for the function and the second argument is for the list of dependency. At this moment, the second argument I leave is as an empty array. For the first argument, I used to fetch the URL and convert that response into JSON. We need to import it to next to my user state. And finally, update this state using setMovies. To check where I am receiving the data correctly, I will add console log here. Let's check it in the browser. Now the movie result populate into the console. Let me fix this key issue. In the result array, there's a unique key called ID, so then I can use to fix the key issue using that ID. So now I need to show this result into my page. So for that I can use my movie box component here. I'm going to take the relevant information from this console related to each movie in my application. Inside my props, I'm going to pass all the data title that I want to show in my movie information. Now let's call those parameters inside my div tag. For the image part, you can see in the console contain the part of the URL, not the whole one. So if I go to the image section in this website, this is the common URL path I can append next to every unique poster path. Let me show you how does it work here. I am adding API image URL plus poster path to get the relevant movie image. I am copying this URL into my moviebox.js file and append that URL with poster path. After I am adding overview and check how is it populated to the browser. Now I'm going to design this application as my demo project. Now I am adding Bootstrap CSS path into app.js file. First I am importing Google font and then design the body of the application. Let me adjust my code and browser the screen. Then you can see whenever I do the changes in my code. And also I'm adding background image to my application. Now I create container CSS class. Inside the container, I'm adding grid. Let me copy all the code and paste inside this grid. In the grid template, I need to show 4 movie results per one row. Then I am adding 4 here. Now I'm going to design my moviebox.js file. There I'm using Bootstrap and I'm not going too deep into the Bootstrap. You can find out more information about the Bootstrap from their official website. I will mention the link in the description below. You can refer that. For my application, I'm using card design to separate each movies. For the image class, let me copy the same thing that I coded before. At the bottom of each card, I am adding button. You can see in my demo project, each movie detail has modal to pop up, and there all the content are included. So let's add the modal into this project also. What is the issue in here? Let me check. Yes, the issue was actually I add the bootstrap, but it won't to be React bootstrap. Then the issue is fixed. Alright, now I am going to add modal header and the title. And now I'm going to add the modal body here. Inside that, I'm going to mention all the detail that I pass inside the props. Design part is almost completed, but it is still not work because I didn't add any functionality here. Let's complete that part also. I will declare a state variable first for initiate the default state of the modal. By default, the modal is closed. When I click only, it need to pop up. Then I leave it as a false in this stage. And I create another two functions for close and show modal. For the show, set show update has a true. And for the close, set show as false. Then I'm calling onClick event here for the handle show function. And call the handle close function here. And now I am adding footer here. And call the handle close function here. There's an error when I click the button. Let's check it in the console. Okay, the button name want to be a variant. And then again I need to add button to the React Bootstrap. In the modal, image look bigger, so I can adjust it using the width. Okay, next part is search the movie detail. For that, let's create a navigation bar inside my app.js file. First, create navbar tag. And then container. After navbar.brand, which is mostly represented as a link to another page. To create a collapsible navigation bar, add navbar.toggle. Let's add container nav into the React Bootstrap. Let's create a form tag which is act as an input field for search. In here, the value and the name I leave it empty. I will add later on this implementation. Navbar toggle tag need to close above the navbar collapse tag. In the navigation bar, I supposed to add href link which is connect to the home page. Now the navigation bar design is almost completed. Now let's create variable for search and declare state variable for search. I will copy search URL into app.js file. create another function with asynchronous call. Inside this function, I'm going to call my search URL also. Now I'm going to call that function inside my onSubmit handler. Inside the try catch block, I am creating variable for search API. Here I am replacing the end of the URL with state variable attribute, which is query. Same as before, I'm fetching the URL and convert it into the JSON and update that detail into the set movies. Let's create another function for update the value in the form. Now add name and value inside the form control. And don't forget to call that created function inside the event handler. So now check the search is working without any issue. Okay, the search one also working fine. Now I want to add couple of things to make this application more meaningful. Let's imagine when I search random movie name here and there's no result available for that search. So once I click the search button, it will appear as a blank page. But the user don't know when the search movie has result or not. So for that, I need to display a message that saying the search movie is not available or found. So the way I can do it is adding the if condition into my map function. When the condition is true, the map function won't be called. Otherwise, the result not found message won't be shown. Now the application development is completed. Let me check this application is responsive for every devices. I upload the complete source code into my GitHub account. You can refer that, and I mention the link in my description below. Okay, until my next video, see you then.